Greetings, everyone. It's just a couple minutes before 1 o'clock, and excited that you are joining us today. I'm going to give it a minute for everyone to hopefully grab their lunch if they're multitasking, or get a minute to, grab a water. We got to hydrate right now, right? And then we will get started right at the top of the hour. But I'm really excited that you have decided to spend a little time with us today, and we will do everything we can to make it valuable to you. And I'm really excited to share our guest today with you. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So I'll give you a minute to get settled as we get settled, and then we'll kick it off in another minute or two. So welcome. Hello, hello. All right, pretty excited here. So greetings, everyone, and thank you. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us live on Instagram today at HN Realtors. I'm Jenny Benura, President and CEO of Harry Norman Realtors, and on behalf of all of our amazing agents and employees, it is a privilege to serve all the communities in Metro Atlanta and beyond. And today, I'm excited because we have an awesome guest who's there. I'm going to introduce you in just a second, and I love it that you're on time. Thank you. But our topic today is socially connected. And in case you're wondering, no, we're not going to talk about how-tos because, well, you're already here. So that's half the battle. But we are going to talk, of course, about the Atlanta market, and we are going to talk about social media and maybe a blending of business and how that comes to play. So I'm delighted that you're here. And like I said, we'll make the most of your time. And thanks for joining us. So our special guest today is Ashley Webb. And she's on your screen there. Hello, Ashley. Delighted to have you with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you're not a stranger to real estate, and you might know a thing or two about it. So would you mind just sharing a little bit about your background with us? How'd you get started?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been doing real estate for 16 years, but I've kind of been doing it in a way my whole life because my father was a builder. He built probably close to 1,000 homes in his 40-year career here in Metro Atlanta. And so even as a child, you got to realize that it was before Instagram and cell phones and all that. The realtors actually came to our house. So he interacted with those people. I saw them all the time. So I've been doing it for 16 years, but it goes way back in our family. I started out doing real estate in Midtown. I moved to one of the first high rises in Midtown, and I lived there and just really enjoyed the lifestyle and got my license, and immediately it just kind of took off from there. Then later, just 5 years ago, I moved to Hunt Cliff in Sandy Springs, and I sell a lot of real estate here as well. So I'm just a little bit all over the place. I've got all different types of clients. And for the past 16 years, it's been an amazing run. Been through all different types of markets. And it's just been a great career.
Well, I have to tell you, experience really makes a difference, especially in our business. And I love the fact that you've got a very widespread knowledge, not only of the geographies in Metro Atlanta, but also different kinds and preferences of living. I mean, I would say you're an early adopter of high-rise living because 16 years ago, compared to now, the skyscape in Atlanta has certainly changed a significant amount. So kudos to you on that. I bet you have some interesting stories about what life was like 16 years ago versus what it would be like right now living in Midtown. So what's your perspective on that?
It's absolutely nothing like it is today. It's very interesting because I can remember we were literally the only building, and there were empty lots in Midtown, and now everything around the building, there weren't grocery stores that you could walk to. And now if I live there now, I can walk to Publix, I can walk to Whole Foods. You can literally stand in front of this building, Metropolis, and say, well, that wasn't there, that wasn't there, that wasn't there. I mean, it's an incredible change. It's really, it is a city now. It's like a real city. And it wasn't when I moved in. I wanted it to be, and I wanted that lifestyle, and it eventually became that.
Yeah,
So.
well, we're obviously very proud of our city. We live here, and we love to see the growth and development and positive changes that are happening and honestly continue to happen. And that's a perfect segue. And I see the little hearts flying up there. I love that. I love interacting with you all on social media. So thanks for joining us. But let's talk about the market a little bit, because as you say, 16 years, it's certainly changed. Honestly, I feel like it changes not minute by minute, but things move so quickly. So talking about what we're seeing on the headlines right now, definitely the headlines are saying low inventory, low interest rates, and we're certainly seeing that. So to quantify it, what I'm seeing is it's not unusual to have total days on market right now of 21 days. And that's kind of a broad spectrum, right? So there's different neighborhoods and different price points. Obviously, that's a great reason to talk to your Harry Norman realtor, right? I had to say that, but it's true. But the other thing is, it can even be different street by street in the
Yeah,
same
that's right.
neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Every market's different.
and I bet you see, I know you work with buyers and sellers, but it's interesting too, because yesterday I was interested to know that this summer for new construction, the closings outpaced the new starts. So, it still indicates that inventory is low. But what's really interesting to me is that just because it's low doesn't mean that everything sells. So, what are you seeing in the market?
Yeah, as long as you're priced right, you're going to have a shorter days on market, but pricing is the key. And, sometimes for a seller, it might be hard to swallow what that exact price is. But if you are priced right, your days on market are going to be very limited. So that's great for a seller. It makes it for buying a little bit more difficult. For buying, you really do have to have all your ducks in a row before you even go out. So, get with your lender, Prosperity Mortgage, and get pre-qualified right away. And they can even start underwriting you as a person and fast track you, so that by the time you get to making an offer on this hot property that has just come up, you could almost be as good as cash. And that could be the key to getting the property. Yeah. So be
Quickly.
prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you do have to act fast, and also have to listen to good advice. And that is
Mm-hmm.
certainly good advice.
Mm-hmm.
One of your clients is pretty cool on the feed, just said that they had a great experience with you. They bought and sold several times, and it was perfect both times. So thanks, Mark, for that feedback.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, pretty cool. You never know what
Yeah.
you're going to get on these things, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Can the price change if the good is low quality? Can the price? I'm not sure what that. Can the price change if the good is low quality? So add a little more clarity to that. We'll come back to that question. But tell us what the buyers that you're working with are asking for, and specifically, is it any different now?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different. Space is really the key right now. And it's so interesting that for years we've been talking about micro living, the tiny house movement, things like that. And I feel like we are in the exact opposite of that right now, because people are at home, so they want to have the space for everything. So, people that are looking for single families, anything that is a little bit extra amenity is amazing to them. So, like if something has a pool or a workout room or, offices, You know, literally everybody is having to do everything from home now, educating their kids. So space is key. Also, I think it's so interesting. For years, we've been talking about open floor plans. And I think, you know, that was key when we were all outside the home so much, so that when parents were, you know, getting ready for dinner, they could have their kids in the den and really feel like a sense of togetherness. Well, now we're getting plenty of togetherness and we all need our separate spaces. So what I'm noticing is that the single family clients want that. And if you are a condo buyer and you're in a studio, you're probably wanting to upgrade to a real one bedroom. If you're a one bedroom buyer, you're wanting a two bedroom. And if you're a two bedroom condo buyer, you're probably thinking about a townhome or a house right now. So there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I see on, you know, virtual meetings and such, you know, some people are really cramped, or you can see in their background that they're in their very, very unfinished basement. And, you know, the lighting is terrible and the connection is bad. So it doesn't surprise me to hear that.
Yeah,
Uh,
or they have those virtual backgrounds to cover what mess they have on in the back, and
yes.
it never gets their head in. It always cuts them off. It's so funny.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just never know what you're going to get. And I think that that is, you know, pushing people to the, you know, I don't want to wait on a vaccine, and I don't want to wait on, you know, if there's risk, I'm willing to take it because I don't want to put life on hold. I think just people are tired of putting life on hold to make decisions. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really good indicator of the market right now.
Yeah,
You
and we're
mentioned,
all going out very carefully. You know, we're
yeah.
wearing our mask and following CDC guidelines. So everyone's being careful in order to get to these next steps.
Yeah, and round of applause for that. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
got to do business with safety and health in mind, but also just living every day. So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned something interesting, and it made me think of something I read the other day, which is I think that boat sales have, you know, surpassed like some monumental level. And I think it goes back to the amenity thing. And you talked about pools. You know, once
Mm-hmm.
upon a time, people were like, no, don't want a pool, don't want to the maintenance of it. And are you seeing that is, you know, yes, the pool thing. Are you seeing outside living still being a trend that people
Definitely.
want? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
definitely outside living, any extension of your home. You know, it was really important in condos to have amenities, and it still is. And we're going to get past this. I mean, stuff is going to change. It
Mhm.
always does, right? Um, you know, the condo thing right now is a little bit tough because a lot of the amenities are closed. But people are, you know, heading outdoors and stuff like that. And yes, outdoor space is key. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, people, you know, maybe this happens to you too, but when they find out that I'm in real estate and what I do for a living, they're like, okay, well, you know, what do you think is going to happen in the next several months? You know, maybe by the end of the year. And I got to be honest with you, if I had the concrete answer to that, I would be on a private island with some
Yeah, you
beautiful
and me both.
sunshine and maybe an adult beverage. But um, here I can talk about kind of the mechanics of what I'm seeing, and I would love your perspective as well. But what I truly believe that we're in a position for is slow and steady appreciation
Hmm.
continuing, right? So like
Hmm.
probably by the end of the year at a 4% appreciation rate, which is very solid, very steady. The South continues to outperform as Atlanta does as well. And I think it's because people want to live here. I mean, we have, you
Hmm.
know, great quality of life, great affordability comparatively to other large cities. And I mean, who doesn't love the activities that can happen here in Atlanta? So
Hmm.
I bet that's probably why some of the clients that you work with that maybe aren't from Atlanta are coming here. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
well,
hearing?
you know what I really think brings a lot of people to Atlanta is we have really great educational institutions, and we also have really great, you know, companies, major companies, and the two go hand in hand. So I think what happens is people come here in college and they think, gosh, this is great, the weather's great, and they wind up staying. Then they end up moving their parents here. Then the grandparents come. So I think that's what I see where I live. Um, you know.
Yeah,
So,
well, so true. My parents moved here, and I'm quite certain it was not for me, but the grandchildren have a pretty significant pull. So you are dead on that one.
mm,
Um, let's talk about sellers. We talked about buyers a few minutes ago. So what are you hearing from them? And specifically, I mean, we always know the three components are price, condition, and location.
mhm.
But mentally, what are they hearing? Are they comfortable with people coming in their homes? And how do you coach them through if they're ready to sell?
Mhm, mhm. Um, I think people are a lot more comfortable than they were right when coronavirus started.
Hmm.
We're learning more and more daily, and of course, we are practicing CDC guidelines. So I think all of us are realizing we're having to work under this new condition, and so we're getting used to that. I don't feel like that's as much of an impediment anymore,
Hmm.
as long as we as agents continue to expect other agents to, act on this level. I think sellers are excited that, the rates are still good, so they're able to attract many more buyers than they would, if we had a rate hike right now. I mean, the rates are amazing. I mean, I can't even believe it. So I think there's a lot of excitement there. Of course, selling your home is not easy. It does take a lot of energy to get ready for every single showing. But I feel that there's a lot of excitement there.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, let's shift the focus a little bit and talk about social media. We're on it right now.
Hmm.
So obviously, it's an important part of our business, but I'd
Hmm.
love to know a little bit more about how you've used it lately and if
Hmm.
that's been different or
Hmm.
new.
Hmm. Um, I would say that I've been a pretty decent early adopter of social media. If there's ever anything I don't know, I usually grab someone and say, "Quick, tell me how to do this." I find it so useful for real estate. It is like tailor made for doing real estate. And, there's so many different platforms and social media, and they all reach different people. Um, and so when some agent tells me that they don't use social media, I'm always shocked because it is like not using the telephone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so important in our business, and each platform reaches a different group of people. So, say for instance, LinkedIn to me really feels like a business meeting,
Hmm.
of course. And Instagram feels like a family reunion because it's mostly pictures of people's kids and dogs and whatever. And Facebook feels like a cocktail party. So you reach different people in each one of those because they're there for different reasons. Some are there for the cocktail party, some are there for their grandkids. And so it's really important for me to go on all three of them. I have my preferences because I know I'm going to reach different people and communicate to different people differently. Um, I use it for all sorts of things. It's a telephone book, so it's like having your name in a directory. And it's a way, if people don't have my phone number, they can Facebook me, they can Instagram me. There's all these different ways of reaching me. I use it for video tours. I use it for meetings. Last week, I had a group of like four people, and we used Facebook Messenger, and we were all four on the conversation and each looking at each other and, giving the tour. So it is amazing. And I cannot even believe how lucky we are to have these tools at this time.
Well, you're so smart in how you kind of describe the different platforms, and if you kind of walk into a room, when I think about socially connecting in person, if you walk into a room and you're totally off the vibe, people know. And I think that's true on a social media standpoint and platform as well. So, LinkedIn kind of a little bit more buttoned up, and, some of the others are a little bit more casual and,
Hmm.
kind of let you in a little bit more. So that's a great way to describe it.
Hmm.
What, to me, it's like when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So
Hmm.
I love how you talk about that.
Hmm.
Well, a question about, there was a question that came up here and it said, which is your favorite? So I don't know if you want to share that with everybody or let
Sure.
that be a surprise.
I'm not as, I'm not really a LinkedIn person per se. I have to make myself go on there because I know I have business friends and I want them to see what I'm doing. I love Instagram. I think it is so much fun. I think Instagram stories is so much fun. I like to start my day with like some sort of positive thought. And so every morning I have this little ritual where I'll go find something that makes me laugh or smile and I'll share that and I'll work in some real estate with it. But I think Instagram is great. It's less about people's politics and it's just fun, and I want to have fun. So that's my favorite.
I love it. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's a good thing you said that because since we're on Instagram, I'm sure that Big Brother somewhere would have kicked us off had you said something else. So yay, right answer. I did, it really, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But anyway, um, so, so is it any different pre-COVID? You know how you use it than right now, and that's more just a curiosity question than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just using it more. And I think that, virtual tours are so much more important now. So, you know, I, it's just great to be able to post those things. And if someone's asking, I got to get in there today, but I'm a little scared, or I'm under the weather, I need to quarantine, I at least can say, hey, go here and see the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess I'm just communicating more these days using these tools because I can't be with people right now. I have so
Yeah.
many clients that I love. And if we weren't going through all this, I would be, well, first off, I know I'd be sponsoring the swim team, which I sort of did in my neighborhood this year, but we're not really having real swim meets, So that's kind of random, but I was just thinking, I would be doing all these different things that I'm not doing. So it's just a
Yeah.
way of communicating more, and it makes me feel good to have positive interactions with people, and I miss everybody. So.
That's a perfect way to describe it because we can't be in person as much. This is as close as we can be to real connections,
Hey, I
and
don't
we're
even think
taking.
I've seen you in 6 months.
That's
Just here.
true. That is sad but true. I mean, not other than virtually. So, well, by the way, you look fantastic. So, well, another question that I have for you is this, and how do you get work done? You mentioned a little bit that, because of all these channels, it's really easy to access people, or it's easier. There's multiple ways. And I don't know about you or the people that are on right now, but I might during, when I'm doing business during the day and like things are moving very quickly, it's fast paced. I might need to go to Instagram or LinkedIn for, a contact information or, a reminder about something that I saw recently. And what happens is I go in there for something specific and then I'm, 30 minutes later, I'm like, what happened? So
Yeah.
when people are responding to you and trying to get you through so many different channels, how do you get work done?
You just really have to set boundaries. And I would say this for everybody. The studies show that virtual media, Facebook, it's addictive and they know it. And it's one of, our data is one of the most valuable assets that companies have, so they know it's addictive. And you set boundaries and you just have to be good at setting boundaries. But it does get a little bit crazy that people can reach me in so many different ways. I've had agents call me at the same time they're emailing me, at the same time they're texting me and Facebooking me, so it gets a little crazy. And, I just try to do my best.
Well, that's smart. And I love that you said that you are connecting with other agents. I mean, I think to be successful in business, our hope is that, you're good people to begin with. But
Hmm.
secondly, that you understand that it takes all of us working together to have positive and smooth interactions for our clients and a successful result. So I love to hear that you're not just interacting with clients, but agents too.
Well, that's right. I mean, the thing about these mediums is they're not only great for reaching out to consumers, prospective clients, they're great for marketing amongst agent to agent. So, I mean, last week I saw an agent that I loved working with. We friended each other on Facebook a long time ago. She posted something and it ended up being perfect for my client. I sent it to him. I said, "This is fantastic." And I just saw it instantly because I was just checking Facebook. Not that I wouldn't have found it in the FMLS, but it's just fun to have that sort of organic experience of, finding it that way. So you're also marketing to other agents on these mediums.
And it feels more personal too, than,
Yeah,
going into a database or whatever. So that's
yeah,
good. I love that.
yeah.
Well, you mentioned some of the tools. So are there other tools within Harry Norman Realtors that you utilize that are helpful for your interactions with clients or give your clients an advantage?
hmm Well, there is a new tool that we have. It's called InstaList, and it's kind
Love
of
it.
like a date. Yeah, I do too. It's really cool. It's kind of like a dating profile for buyers and sellers, really, really for sellers. And it's great because it's a way, like, say, for instance, I've got clients that are a little bit concerned about putting their home on the market with coronavirus. But they want to be on the market and maybe they're, getting ready or making repairs. I can put their home on this internal website and maybe make a match with a buyer's agent within the company. So it's a great internal way for us to share properties with each other. Also Atlanta has a lot of high-end people that may not want to list on the FMLS. Um, so it's a great way to work with like a straw seller. So it's just a really cool thing. So that I really love. Also, I love our app. I always tell my buyers about the Harry Norman app and make them download it immediately. It's at the bottom of every email that I send out. And it is so awesome because you can, if you are just driving by a property and you think, I want to know, what that house looks like inside and the price, you can literally take out your phone, tap it, tap home scan, and you can see all the information right there. You just move the phone around and you can see every listing that's right there. I mean, it's incredible. And I think some of the other, maybe Trulia and Zillow has it, but it's not as convenient. I don't think it's as useful as ours. Plus, when my clients use the app, it connects them to me so they can send me messages through the app. So I think that that's brilliant, and I love that, and I share it with everybody.
Uh, my husband and I were out riding bikes yesterday, bicycles, not Harleys. And not that there's anything wrong with Harleys, but it's kind of our time to, unwind from the day and just get out in nature and enjoy. And I always have my phone with me, as probably all of us do. And we like to explore, other streets or neighborhoods that maybe we don't on a, daily basis kind of know. And as a realtor, I take pride in knowing the market, but every once in a while I'll come up on something that I'm like, I didn't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened yesterday. I whipped out my phone, went to the Harry Norman app, just put the camera in front of it, and I got the details right there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really amazing and super easy. And I love the fact that you can interact, directly with your clients in the app. It makes it a lot simpler
Mm-hmm.
than sending links or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
I see a comment here. I really love Ashley's virtual tours of her listings. They're easy to forward and post on all social media. So well
Awesome.
done again. I love it. Um, well, we're going to toss it to you all at the crowd. And if there's any specific questions that you might have for Ashley or for me, we'll do our best to tackle them. We're coming up right at 1:30, and we're going to try and wrap up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Love the fact I keep seeing great accolades on here. And I know it's not just your mom because there's multiple different user accounts. And I don't even think that I know that your mom has an Instagram. So
She
anyway,
does. I set her up on it during coronavirus, and she says she is addicted to it and she turns it off. And I don't know if she knows how to friend people because I have, gone on there and selected accounts for her to follow. So I don't think I'm surprised if she would be watching today. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, my mom
Well,
is on here.
so far, if she is, hello, and if she if she isn't, that's great. It will be recorded, so maybe you can share it with her after the fact. I love
Yes, and
that.
my mom owns two restaurants. I just want to tell everybody I have two parents that have amazing entrepreneurial spirits. Like I said, my dad was a builder, and my mom owns a couple of restaurants here in Metro Atlanta. She owns like a Mexican street food taqueria, and she owns like a Latin Caribbean restaurant with sort of my adopted brother Armando. And so she's very, very successful and she's doing great. So I just wanted to plug her
I love
restaurants.
that.
We should all go support our local businesses right now.
Absolutely,
So yeah.
absolutely. And Harry Norman being a local business born right here in Metro Atlanta. So that dovetails perfectly. And you're making us hungry right around lunchtime. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Well, I have seen some really great comments and scrolls, no questions. So obviously you've done a fantastic job of sharing some great insights. I love that. Let's see, what neighborhoods do you think will hold home prices during this time? And what neighborhoods do you think will be impacted more? Interesting question.
Hmm. Yeah, so I do want to say I have a lot of condo sellers right now, and I think a lot of the apartment people are going to move to condos, so I'm not too concerned. But I think, and I think this question is more about neighborhoods, but I do think condos right now are a little bit trickier to show. So I think, when we look at July's data, which is going to be out really soon,
Hmm.
I think that market is slowing a little bit only because, there's a lot of rules getting in and out of condos right now. So I think that might be impacted. I think all of the in-town neighborhoods, they still seem to be hot and doing well. Everybody still wants to be close to town. But I'm also very surprised that the suburbs are seeing a great resurgence right now. And I do think it's because of the space thing. Um, so I think Metro Atlanta overall is just doing really, really well without mentioning, specific neighborhoods. Yeah.
I think that you can absolutely find whatever you're looking for in Metro Atlanta. I mean, you drive 45 minutes to an hour, and there's great second home mountain communities. You drive south, and the film industry is still there and vigorous, and I think even coming back stronger. And that continues to fuel growth not only in our inner core of the city, but also throughout the suburbs. And go ahead. You look
I
like
was
you're.
just going to say the second home market seems to be on fire right now.
Mhm.
Um, it seems like people are picking up weekend homes because think about it, you can't go anywhere right now. So, and you're saving a lot of money, and that money could be a down payment.
Well, a
So,
change of scenery, right?
yeah, yeah.
People like, okay, I've seen these same four walls. Every once in a while, I'll move to a different room in the house just because, I need a change of scenery myself.
Yeah,
So I love that.
yeah.
Well, anything else that you want to share with the folks that are tuning in today?
I just want to show you, this is my phone in 2009. This is what I was doing real estate with in 2009. You can't do much on this phone, but today we're doing this call on my phone. And
I love
so
it.
life has changed. 2009 was really hard. I was super couponing, eating beans and rice, cutting my own hair, cutting my dog's hair. So I'm very happy that the real estate market is doing very, very well. And I don't take that for granted at all. And I'm so thankful that I'm with a great company that gives me so many great opportunities with a great reputation. So, I'm very thankful for these times.
Wow, well said. We're
Mhm.
super thankful for you. And I personally am grateful for your time today. I know you had a packed day in real estate. And so I appreciate you taking time not only to share insights with me, but for all of those who are tuning in. And with that, we're going to wrap up. And please do follow HN Realtors. And for those of you who may have missed a portion of this, it will be on IG Live as a recording, so you can go back and take a peek at that. And I hope you'll tune in for or with us next time. because we're going to do another very insightful and valuable session on HN Insider. But with that, thank you again, Ashley, so much.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
joining us. Wish you all a great day. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.